Such a cutie, aren't you, Ludo? Oh, right. Sorry. Talk later. Welcome to Solo Krow. I'm Onyx Krow, and today we're going to be playing Labyrinth, the board game. It's a movie I'd love. Why you got to kick on now? So today we're going to be playing the Labyrinth, the board. The Labyrinth, the board game. I can't read. Hi, welcome to Solo Krow. I'm Onyx Krow, and today we're playing Labyrinth, the board game by Riverhorse Games. Basic idea is it takes on the role of the movie. You play as the heroes, Hoggle, Sir Didymus, Ludo, and Sarah. In turn order, taking on the game where you have to try and get to Jareth within the Goblin City and get Toby back. There's certain premises in the game as you'll see as we play along, so let's get into it. Alright, so we got the board game all set up. It does have this little place token piece. I'm not going to be using that though, because it just takes up too much of the room. I'm just going to be using that right there so we know who's who. Keep it simplified here. So, everybody's got their own speed, wit, and brawn die that they each use individually, unless they are in a group. In which case, then they use the lower number one. And the blue one is the challenge or Jareth die. So we'll see from the drawing of the cards, and we'll see what happens. So right now, we'll start off with Hoggle. So Hoggle will roll speed die of that one. However, we're going to be playing with these cards, which is their ability and their weakness cards. So before I can even use any of these, I have to achieve this. So his is Hoggle's friend. Keep this card in your character sheet. You use the purple die for your wit. So I can still roll his speed die, but when I have to do a wit challenge, I have to use the purple die instead of the black die. It's kind of a handicap until I achieve it. So he moves 2. In that direction, I draw a card. This one is Fiery Lichen. No effect, just leave the card in the space. That's a good start. So he's rolled his die, so it goes his turn now. Sir Didymus rolls. His weakness right now is Ambrosius. You're going the wrong way. The battle is behind. The barrel's behind us. There's my youth. The battle is behind us. Keep this card in your character sheet. Use the yellow die for your brawn test. So when you do the brawn, which he uses the purple, you have to use the yellow instead. But he still used the black die to move, so he has like the biggest movement in the game. Which he's going to move 6. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's advantageous to have them all in a group. So you want to try and get them in a group because they work better as a group. So now let's go ahead and draw his card. He's got Goblin Guards. Test Brawn versus 1 green die and 1 yellow die. So a green die and a yellow die, and I have to test Brawn. And his Brawn is going to be with the yellow die because he has to pass his weakness test first. So I'm going to roll for Sir Didymus. He rolls a 3. He's going to roll both of these together, and he's definitely going to beat me. Now, because I fail, I lose 1 willpower, which is this. Darn it. If it knocks me out, then I reset, and I go back to the oubliette, where I have to reset. It's very negative on the game. So I lose 1 willpower, and I have to leave the card in the space. So anytime I land on that card, that's the card I play. So now I move the card on to Ludo's turn, who is going to roll his speed die, which is his weakness is Ludo's scared. I like to do the voice. Ludo's scared. It's okay, Ludo. Relax. My favorite character. Use the purple die for brawn. So he has a brawn with the black die, which is which is a D12 die, and the purple is a D10. So you get the D12 for brawn, but right now he's going to be using the D10. Right now he uses the D8, which is the yellow die. So he's going to roll his right now. Moves 8. Ooh, that's lovely. Moving towards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. He draws. These are upside down. It keeps changing. Discard this card, and if there are any other cards on the board, move that card 1 space near space to this space, then follow the instructions on that card. So the nearest card would be the one Sir Didymus just did, so that would go to him, and now I would have to do the brawn test, which his brawn right now is the purple die versus the yellow and green die. So that would be a 9, and he would roll an 8, which I lose. Loses the willpower. He fell down. Stay. I'll go have a nap over there. There you go. Have a nap. Okay. Messed up my board. Ludo! Ludo, sorry. It's okay. So that's on that space now. So now it goes to Sarah. Let's see. Her weakness is it's not fair. Use a yellow die for wit instead of the purple die. Okay. So Sarah's going to move with the speed of the purple die. She moves 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they only pair up when they land together. So, oh joy! This is not the one you want right now. Jareth appears. Place Jareth on the space. Did it? Keep the card on the character sheet. Keep this card on the character sheet. When in the same space as Sarah, or if you are Sarah, which we are, immediately test wit versus the blue die. You cannot test as a group. So her wit, which is going to be yellow die because she still has her weakness. It's going to be against Jareth's blue die. If I succeed, I discard the card. If I fail, I discard this card. Sarah loses 1 willpower and falls asleep. You lose 2 willpowers, and you lose 2 willpower. It's like, okay. Okay, so I lose 1 willpower. I fall asleep. You lose 2 willpower. So I lose 3? Well, I better not freaking lose this one then, huh? Jareth rolls a 12. She rolls an 8. I lost! You suck. Now she's asleep. That means she loses a turn. Means on her next turn we just skip ahead. And that means Jareth goes back. That means this card is discarded. Now this is the meter that's going to go ding. Every time you finish the round, like everyone finishes their turn, that's 1 round, essentially. So that's the tick on the clock. Now, if I get too low on willpower, I can choose to rest and gain willpower back, but it costs me. She's going to be forced to rest, so I'm going to be gaining it back anyways as she sleeps. So, going to Hoggle, who's going to roll his turn. Green die. Moves 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets the Cleaners. Test speed versus 1 yellow die. This is definitely not his strong suit. Fail, lose 2 willpower and leave this card into space. Come on. Fail. Oh, crap. He loses 2 willpower. Okay, this game doesn't like me. Okay, so it goes to Sir Didymus. Sir Didymus is going to roll the speed of the black die. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that. Card is Snares. Test wit versus 1 green die. If I succeed, leave this card in space. Fail, leave this card in space. Characters on the space cannot rest or move, but must test wit again when it's their go. It continues until they pass the test of the snares. Okay, so he's going to test his wit, which is the yellow die versus the green die. And let's see who wins. Okay, Sir Didymus wins, so I'll just leave this card in space. Right? Yep. Alright, so no one gets stuck. So then we go to Ludo. Ludo rolls his speed die. Which is 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll go there. Draw the card. Doors of the 4 guards. Test wit versus 1 black die. Now his is bronze, so he's not gonna lose his weakness yet. So his wit versus the black die. Now his wit is the green die. So you can see the disadvantage D6 versus a D12. Odds are forever in the favor of the 4 guards. But it's a push. In a push, I win. So I just leave the card in space, but I don't lose any willpower. Great, yay me. Now Sarah can't go, but she is on a forced rest. So she's going to gain back a willpower. It's going to go there. Tick of the clock. Not good, but it is what it is. Now she wakes up. So we're going to rest Hoggle for this turn. Oh. Hoggle, he's got to roll more. And if he rolls a 4 or more, he can't rest. 1, so he can rest. So he can get a willpower. So that means it goes to Sir Didymus. Sir Didymus will roll for movement. 1. Okay, he's going to be on Ludo's space. Keep those 2 together. Wit versus the black die. So his wit is the the yellow versus the black die. Okay, the black die wins. We got a problem. Lose 1 power and leave this card in space. Okay, ouch. Yeah, that kind of sucked a bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to go to Ludo. Now, these two are in a pair, so whichever one of these two has the lowest speed die is the one you're going to roll. So that would be Ludo's. Rolls the yellow 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But now they can do these as a pair. Jareth appears. Jerk. Piece of cake. Place Jareth in the space. Test the wit versus the blue die. Success, discard this card. Fail. Oh no, the cleaners. Test speed. Okay. This one is if I succeed, I discard. If I fail, I have to pass another test. This one's kind of a pain in the butt. So his wit, of course, is always the blue, which is the D20. But now I can test their wit of the green die and the yellow die. Whoever has the highest number will be the one that we use against Jareth. So Jareth will roll for that one, and we'll roll for these guys. Jareth is a 15. Well, he pretty much takes it. So now we fail. So we go to the cleaners, which is we're going to test speed versus the yellow die. They're both bronze, so that doesn't help me. So this speed of the yellow and black die versus the yellow die. So we're going to roll the yellow die first with cleaners. 2. Now these two roll theirs. Okay, they beat that out. So success, discard this card. No worries there. Go back to Sarah. I'm going to push it on this turn to get some movement here. So she's going to roll with Hoggle's dice because they're paired up right now. Hoggle has the slower die. So they're going to roll theirs. They roll 1. They go there. Card. Fairies. Test brawn versus 1 red die. And she's not affected by brawn but wit. So her brawn is a green die, and his brawn is a yellow die, and against the fairies, which is the red die, which is D4. Now, the two strongest are their 2 versus theirs, which is what determines it, and that would be green, which is Hoggle, so they pass the test. Now we go back to Hoggle, tick it back up to 1, and we start again. May have to start a rest period on this eventually, but I'm going to push it for one more round. We got to get some more cards out on the table. It's too early for that stuff. So we're going to push it. Probably a bad call, but we'll see what happens. Hoggle rolls. 3. 1, 2, 3. Back on Hoggle's space, and we get the worm. Sweet. The worm. Keep this on your character's card. Discard this card to roll an extra blue die for a failed wit test without losing a willpower token. You cannot use this card in the Goblin King's Castle Maze. So once we get into the Castle Maze, this has been discarded. Thank you, worm. Very nice. Now that's Hoggle's turn, and now we go to Sir Didymus, who's going to roll with the speed of Ludo's die, which is only going to be a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, let me go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. You always want the empty space because you need to burn the cards so you can find the Goblin King. So we got the Wise Man in the Hat. Ooh! Keep this card on your character sheet. Discard this card and roll an extra blue die for a failed wit test. So it's like the worm. It's the Wise Man in his hat. So that was a good draw there. So now we go to Ludo's turn. Same die. Roll it. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're not in the Bog of Eternal Stench. You get into the Bog of Eternal Stench. Same kind of thing with the willpower. You got to roll for the bad smell. And if you get a bad smell, you get this token. You get to put it on your character. And you're basically unable to work as a group unless, of course, you roll a certain die that you can work together as a team. Otherwise, you stink, smell bad, they don't want you in the group, so it kind of keeps you from grouping up on things. Alright, but that ain't where we landed. We got the Gloomy Scary Forest. Each character on this space tests wit versus 1 purple die. You cannot test as a group. Okay, so basically, yeah. Each character on this space tests wit, okay? Fail. Each character that fails loses 1 willpower and is moved to the Bog of Eternal Stench. Well, that's very helpful. So the purple die, and we got to roll versus their wit. So since they're together, that's the wit of the green and the yellow die. So we're going to do the green and the yellow. That's Ludo and Sir Didymus. At least we rolled high. 6 and 6. So let's see what happens. Yeah. 2. Neither one of them. So they succeed, and we just leave the card in the space. So they don't. We're only on that one. So now we go to Sarah's turn, who's going to be moving with Hoggle. Rolls with the power of the green die. Boom, there it is. 1. Whoop. Moving there. Card. Jareth. Jareth. Okay. Place Jareth on this space. Test wit versus 1 blue die. You cannot test as a group. So it's going to be Sarah versus Jareth. So it's a wit of the purple versus the blue, which is... we'll see, because he's got it. That's not what I wanted. Alright, succeed, discard this card. If I fail, discard this card, and the character loses 1 pillar and is moved to Hoggle's starting space, which is right back where we technically were. So basically lose 1 and move 1 space back. Okay, so let's roll it. So, yeah, so you're going to be parking there. There you go, and you lose a willpower. And Jareth, I didn't even bother moving you this time. I didn't really give 2 craps on that. So boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Sarah's turn. Go back to Hoggle, move it up a tick. It moves kind of fast if you play this game enough times. So, Hoggle. Roll it. 1. Back, there we go. It's another Jareth card. I'm gonna lose. It's another Jareth card! I essentially called that. Test wit versus the blue die. Well, at least this time we can do it together. So the wit is purple, and his is the purple as well. So I'll have to roll the wit die twice. Nope. Her wit die's yellow, because she's got that one yet. So, but he's also got this one if I fail. Alright, so let's see what we get here. His is a 10. They got 6s and a 9. That's not enough. So if I fail, discard this card, move the hand of the goblin clock 1 hour forward, and only 1 hour, regardless of the number of characters on the space. So, I'm going to re-roll, so we knew he had a 10. I'm going to re-roll this and a chance to beat him, and I'm going to use my worm. Because it is a wit test. And I failed. So I moved an extra space. You gotta be kidding me, man. Darn it all to hell. Darn it all to hell. Go to hell, Jared. Oh, and you lost a willpower. And it burned my card. Big a miss. Roll with the yellow. 3. So 1, 2, 3. Ludo, stop falling down. We got false alarms. Test wit versus 1 red die. Okay. Anybody? Nope, they're both the bronze. So okay. So their wit is yellow, green versus the red die. Well, this one's usually easy to pass. I think I've only failed on this once ever. So roll that together. 2, 4, 8. Okay, we pass it. Just leave the card in space. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Moving on to Ludo, who's going to roll his turn with his speed die. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go there. Draw a card. Goblins test brawn versus 1 green and 1 red die. Perfect. Now his brawn right now is going to be a purple, and his brawn right now, since they're traveling together, is going to be a yellow versus the green and the red. Perfect. So now anytime it's an enemy, it's by the combined numbers. So that would be a 6. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen with us, but he has an 8. So that's enough. And because that was Sir Didymus was a brawn. Okay, wait, that's not brawn. Yeah, that was a brawn test. So since he did that, he no longer has a weakness. So now his brawn can be a purple die. So his brawn has been achieved. Now, that was on Ludo's turn. So his weakness also been expunged. So now he can use the D12 when he rolls for brawn. These two have yet to do anything for their wit. So we move to Sarah. Oh, and discard. Sarah rolls the speed die, purple die. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the card we got is Trash Lady. Test wit versus 1 black die. So the 1 black die, their wit is going to be the yellow die, and the wit for him is the purple die versus the black die. So she has an 8, 4, and a 5. They fail. Lose 1 willpower and leave this card in space. So lose a willpower. And he loses a willpower because they travel together. So he now is forced to the oubliette. I'm going to discard this card. He is now stuck in the oubliette, where he must rest. So that stinks. So he's in the oubliette. So we go back to him. Ticks up. This is not looking well. It's his turn. He can't move, but in the oubliette, he doesn't have to roll. He just automatically gains willpower. So I'm going to leave him here anyways, let him build up. So we lose his turn. Sir Didymus. We're going to roll to get you some willpower. He indeed gets a willpower. Now we go on to Ludo's turn, who's going to roll for the speed. A 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And we're with Sarah. Sweet. We're all together. Junkyard. Test wit versus 1 purple die. Okay. So the wits we have right now is the yellow die, the green die, and hers is also the yellow die, so I'm going to roll that twice, versus the purple die. So this is for Sarah. This is a 4. These two. So the highest is 4. 1. So we succeed. Just leave the card in space. Yay. So now we go with Sarah. Now the slowest die here would be Ludo's, so we're going to roll the yellow die. And we move 1. And the card is Goblin. Test brawn versus 1 red die. Oh, you are so screwed, dude. As red, for his brawn, he uses purple. For his brawn, he uses the black. For her brawn, he uses the green. So all these dice are being thrown. Here we go. See if either one of them beats the red. Okay, yep, they definitely do. So we just discard this card. Yeah. So that would be Sarah's turn. It goes up there, ticks the clock. He is awake, but he's going to stay in the oubliette for another turn. Keep him there. So I'm going to go to Sir Didymus. He's going to roll for turn. Speed die at 2. Crap. Do not want to go in the bog. So I'm just going to have to go to this card here, which is, which one? Oh, okay, that's the false alarms. Yeah, we can do that test. Wit. Their wit is the yellow, the green, and the purple. No, yellow. She's got to roll because she hasn't done a wit test yet. Wait, she beat a wit test. Didn't we? That was a brawn test. Brawn test against a goblin. Okay, so that's the wit test. Hers is a 5. And we roll theirs all together. 5 is the high for the players. Are you going to beat them anyway? So, yay. It's a push either way. So, 5 will do it. And she gets to have her card flipped over. So now she can use the purple die for a wit test. Alright, so the alarms are good. So I just return that back there to the space. Okay. Ludo, who's going to roll for turn. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that. Just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make sure I got the right one. And it is Sleepy Goblin Guard. Choose to sneak past. Test speed versus the green die, or face him. Test brawn against the yellow. Their strengths would be the better factor. Here would be to speed, because I got Sir Didymus. He's got the highest die. So speed, and speed versus his green speed die. Now, they could all land on 0s and 1s for all I know. So, as they beat the green one, 3, 10, 5. Yeah, they beat him. So, just discard this card. What happens? I'm going to roll for rest. 2. It's barely enough. Hoggle. I'm going to rest you one more time. Sir Didymus rolls for this one. 1. Oh, good roll there, buddy. Roll there, bud. Goblin Knight. Choose to face him. Test brawn versus the purple die, or test speed versus a yellow die. Either one really works for me. Don't really. Yeah. I guess one thing we'll do is Well, it doesn't matter. I guess we'll do the brawn against this purple die. So that'll be her green, is black, and the purple die. So yellow die is out. So he's the purple die. So let's see what his number would be. 4. We gotta beat a 4. And we beat a 4. So we just discard this card. Oops. So then we go to Ludo. Who's going to roll for speed? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last remaining space over here. We're going to do that, which is the 2 knockers. Test wit versus 1 purple die. So the purple die for the knockers, and then we're going to do their wit, which is a yellow, a green, and a purple. So we'll do their first. 0. Yeah, they're in trouble. Yeah. Oh, 0 again. 1. Oh my God. Ironically, barely. Alright, so we just leave the card in the space. And now we go to Sarah. We're going to rest. 1. Yeah, that didn't really seem like much of a roll. That was a stupid move. I should have just accepted the 1. Damn my honesty. Yeah, so it's probably not going to happen. But we're going to keep trying. Hoggle, welcome to the game. Roll it. 1. Oh, crap. Alright, test brawn versus the green and yellow. Okay, green and yellow versus your brawn versus yellow. You rolled a 3. They rolled a 10. Yeah, you failed this one with power. Way to go, dude. Sir Didymus, roll for speed. 1. Crap. Well, we're going to do the junkyard. Wit versus a purple die. Alright, so the purple die's number is a 2. And their wit is a yellow, green, and a purple. Just got to beat a 2. And the green die honestly does it. Weird enough. But they do, so we just leave it in the space. And we're moving on. Ludo, move again for the yellow. Move it up this way, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Goblin Mob. Choose to trick them. Test wit versus a green die, or face them. Brawn versus a green and a yellow. Well, obviously, we're going to try and trick them with their wit. So we're going to use the green die for them. And our wit is the yellow, the green, and the purple. I'm going to do this real quick for the wit. Green die for them. 6. Oh boy. We rolled a 6, so we pushed. So barely got that one. Barely right there. Alright, we gotta find this place here. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Goblin City. Nope. Ambushed by fire rays. Test brawn versus 1 purple die. Okay, so the 1 purple die for them is a 1. And we're testing brawn, which is purple, black, and green. 0, 3, yeah, okay. So we got it. No worries there. Discard. So, see ya. Hoggle. Rolls the green die because he's not with him. 1. Boop. Garrett appears the ball. Test wit versus a blue die. Now, he's got the strongest wit versus the blue die. If I fail, leave this card in the space. Characters on the space cannot rest or move, but must test wit. Okay, so basically I'm going to imagine wits with him for a while. No, I passed him, so discard this card. Now we go to Sir Didymus, who rolls the speed die at the group, which is that one. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to there. Oops, sorry, sir, knocked you over. Stay there. Rolls helping hands. Player chooses to go odds up or down with a blue die. So we're going to go even. Yay. If you rolled that you chose, leave this card on the space. Okay. And that's all I'm going to worry about because I didn't fail it so longer. Anyway, so roll with the group. Hiya. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And the card is... It just goes on and on. Odd. Test wit versus a yellow die. Yellow die rolls a 6. Their wits are the yellow die, green die, or purple die. There was a 6. Barely got it with the green. Oh my god, green is saving the day today. So, success, leave the card in space. So now Sarah rolls. Gotta find the goblin keep here. So, 2, 1, 2. Goblin Kingdom. That card's not fair. Goblin, basically, if you know the lyrics and everything, you get a free space. I don't play the card. It's better to play multiplayer, so we got to take it out. Alright, Goblin Knight. Test the brawn versus 1 yellow die. So their brawn, which is going to be purple, black, and green versus the yellow die. Yellow die is the Goblin Knight. Goblin Knight throws 4, 7, 9, and 6. Yep. So I discard this card. Discard the card. Sarah's turns over. Boom. We go to the 12th hour. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But we're going to go to the end here. Hoggle. Roll green. 1. It's going to do this one. Test brawn versus green and yellow. Brawn. Right? Yeah, brawn versus green and yellow. So we'll do the green and yellow. They get a 6. And his brawn is a yellow. For the 5. Loses. That's 1 willpower. Bye-bye. Dedimus. Roll at the speed of the group. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, we already know what that one is, which is the brawn versus the green and yellow. So the green and yellow get an 8. So now we're doing the brawn of everybody. Everyone's here. Whoever's higher than 8 will take. 8 is the number. It is a push. So we win. Roll. Speed. That's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everybody. Here. Jareth appears. Really? Land of Stench. Wit versus a blue die. Alright, discard. Characters on the space removed to bog of eternal stench. Okay, so Jareth's gonna roll. He rolls a 4. Oh, we have a chance. With the wit die. Which his wit is still the purple. Her wit is the purple as well, so that's Hoggle's 0. Helpful. Her wit, his wit, and that wit. Gotta beat 4. Does beat 4, so we just discard this card. Sorry, Jareth, not today. So now we go to Ludo. Roll. I hate to say this, man, but roll low. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the Fiery's camp. Is that where the entrance is? It's the entrance to the Goblin City. That finally showed up. Oh, crapola. So, when that happens, that's when you take this out. That's when you put Jareth at the top. That's when you put the humongous here. You place these 3 amongst the spaces here. And you keep this one where their space is, because that's the entranceway, which we're all there. That's going to go to Sarah's turn. It's going to go to the 13th hour. I now have 1 round to get past all this. How in the... So you go to these cards, where you have to fight them in order. So you're going to fight the humongous first. Test brawn versus 1 blue die. So you got 1 blue die, and you're going to test the brawn of yellow, purple, black, and green. So here we go. All these dice. He rolls a 6, and we got an 8. Defeated. Okay, he's gone. So now, bye-bye humongous. So now I go to the Goblin Infantry. Oh, did I put it back? I put it back. Test brawn versus the red die, green die, yellow die. So red die, green die, yellow die. Let's get their total, which is 8, 9, 10, 11. So they have an 11. So I had to beat the brawn. So we had the brawn of everybody, which is the yellow, purple, black, and green, which we know that all of that's going to matter. Because the only one that really would be able to beat it would be Ludo, so we'll just roll his. It's an 11. That's a push. That counts. Gone. See ya. Next one. By the way, that was Sir Didymus, and then we go to Ludo. Ludo, you're going after the Goblin Cavalry. Brawn, green, yellow, and purple. Green, yellow, and purple again. They get a total of 18. Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna help. But I still have Rock's friend, Ludo's special ability. Once per game, you can discard this card to roll an extra blue die for a failed brawn test without losing a willpower token as described. So, once per game, you can discard this card to roll an extra blue die for a failed brawn test. So, he's obviously going to fail because he's not going to be able to, yeah. So, I can roll this. If I get more than 18, I get him. I do not. So I'll go to Sarah's turn. Do the roll again. You will get a 9. So now everyone does their brawn test, which is that one, that one, that one, and that one. Which is a 10 will do it. Knocked him out. Boom, bam, done. But this is as far as we can get. Why couldn't it have been that on the last one? Anyways, so that was the game Labyrinth, the board game. A lot of fun, and I love the mechanics. The dice are making it a little more interesting. I think it's a fun game. Check it out. Yeah, you can find it on the Amazon store. And this has been Solo Krow. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you in the next one. Damn it. Poor Toby.